people think that when they come to retirement age, they need less money.
Yeah.
The truth is they need more.
Our job is obviously changing the psychology of the Australian investor, because what if there was a way, Mark, Karl and Joe, that you could actually still cash out the equity that you've built, right? And actually use that strategically to pay your home loan off quicker and generate cash flow.
So when I found out what the net yields were from the right asset class, and we're talking about luxury hotel asset class in Bali, friggin' blew my mind. Because that is the missing piece for a lot of people that already have properties in Australia. If they only knew how they could do that safely, legally, securely.
Well, you guys are in for something special today. So, just to put it, just to set the scene, it's 2026. We've got an incredible property and an incredible year ahead of us. You guys are all tuning in because you've been watching our podcast, or you're considering watching more of our podcast. I'm about to introduce you to 3 people who I deeply respect, and it's incredible for me to have them all in the one room. I say this with real affection, simply because for the longest time I've been here on my own here in Australia, and now I've got 3 other hosts with me, guys that I respect deeply, and I hope that you guys can get to meet them. So I'm going to introduce them one by one. But if you are considering property, if you are considering investments, as you normally would be if you're a viewer of ours, these gentlemen will be front and center in Australia and be able to guide you through investment strategies that pertain to Bali and what we're doing here at GeoNet. So I'm going to introduce the roundtable, and what a privilege. Adam Nelson.
Thanks, Mark. Happy to be here, mate.
Karl Mifsud.
Great to be here.
Joe Dirani.
Thank you so much.
So, guys, look, privilege is all mine, because you guys come from some diverse parts of the property sector in Australia. Maybe we can start with a little bit of background. Where do you come from? What do you do? And what were you selling before? What was your previous engagement?
Beautiful. Thanks, Mark. Adam Nelson, Perth, Western Australia. I worked in wealth creation for the better part of 2 decades now across a range of industries, ranging from broking, financial services, insurance, property, and even most recently, I guess, more niche areas of property, ranging from standard resi to retirement, and then most recently co-living. Right. So an opportunity for individuals to be able to generate multiple streams of income. Using property as the vehicle, which, segueing soon, Mark, Bali just blows out of the water with this new model that we're doing. So coming from an opportunity where we've got really high entry costs, low yields in Australia, to an opportunity that we have now, I'm really excited with the caliber of panelists that we have here for all of us.
And you're based in Perth.
Correct, yeah.
Based in Perth, which is only 3.5 hours.
Look, practically Bali's a northern suburb of Perth. So again, very blessed that such close proximity, which is great from a Perth perspective locally, because so many individuals in Perth are interested in Bali as a holiday destination. Correct. Our job is to get them interested in Bali as an investment opportunity.
And putting the right framework around it, right?
You got it.
Karl Mifsud, my honor. Tell us a bit about yourself and give us some background.
I've been around, you may have noticed, for a little bit longer than my counterparts here. So I've been helping people create wealth through property and the right finance structure for 3 decades. So nearly 30 years. And my background started in finance. Funny enough, growing up with not a great deal, you wanted to sort of work out how you can make money. And so I did that and worked for a couple of the Australia's leading finance companies, became a financial planner and then a mortgage broker. And then I realized quite quickly that a vehicle to help people grow wealth before and throughout retirement was this thing called property, right? Residential real estate. So I really got immersed into the property sector throughout Australia. And I found that it was a pathway, if done correctly, that it could help people create passive income in retirement. And the thing is, whether it was 30 years ago, 20 years ago, or yesterday, the same problems existed.
Of course.
And those problems are, people are sitting down at the dinner table and they're saying, right, okay, I'm 55 years old or 50 years old. I'm getting closer to that retirement age. Do I have enough built up so far that when I do come to retirement, I can live out my golden years, live those years, not just get by on a pension, right? Live them, enjoy them, and not worried whether I can pay my Netflix subscription and whether the pension is going to be enough, because there's plenty not.
Whether I have to move in with my kids, that type of thing.
Yeah, and this is a common thing, right? And a lot of people coming into that age of retirement, they have to work through retirement because they can't afford to retire. And here's the thing, that was my parents.
Correct.
Right?
Exactly the same.
Right. And I'm getting off a little bit off track here, because you'll probably realize I'm pretty passionate about this, right? Sure. But there is a massive group of people that were moving into retirement. And these are called the baby boomers, right? Yeah. These are people that are born between the ages of the years of 1946 and 1964, right? This massive group of people are transitioning into retirement. And this is putting a lot of strain on the Australian government, right? So they brought up this thing called superannuation, right? Which was to relieve the burden, and help these people have some kind of forced savings. But when you look into it, because I'm a numbers guy, is it enough? Right? Is it enough when you come to 67 or 65 years old? And these are facts, right? The majority of Australians have got less than $300,000 in superannuation. Right?
Every time.
We're living longer.
All the time.
It's very common for people to live beyond 80 years old, right? So if you retire at 65, well, how many more years do you need to fund, right? 15, 20 odd years at least, right? And if you've got $200,000, $300,000, it's plenty not enough, right? People think that when they come to retirement age, they need less money. The truth is they need more.
The passion is real with this guy.
I can see it, right? We're just doing the intro.
So look, here's the thing.
We can tap into this soon.
Property solves this problem, right? If you invest in Australian property, well, this is debatable, and that's why I'm here in Bali, right? Before, because the Australian property market is broken. If you invested in property in the right area, and held it for the right amount of time, it should double in value, and you just repeat the process. It's a buy and hold process. If you can afford to hold them, at the end, you sell some. Now you've got a bucket full of money and you can retire. Okay. And I've been helping people do that for nearly 30 years.
My man. That's our guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, Karl Mifsud.
Now, I don't know how you're gonna top that, but Joe, what I know about you is that your community basis is very, very, very strong. And I have witnessed that, with a lot of your clients coming from your community. Give us a little bit about yourself, your background, your family background, and how you've built that community. And
lovely. Thank you so much.
Because it's special what you are.
Oh, thank you.
Very, very special.
Thank you. Yeah. First and foremost, my experience is dwarfed by the wealth of knowledge that's on this panel, and I'm just privileged to be here amongst you guys.
Oh, you definitely are.
Because it comes through, as you can tell, Adam, yourself, Karl, and myself, you hear it in my voice. The passion is real. I fell into property.
Right.
All right. I was against property initially.
Why?
Long story. Probably don't have time for it here.
It's another podcast.
It's another podcast. But I fell into property because I finally understood the numbers. And how powerful property investing was.
True.
So once I understood that, background story, park here for the second, I ran with it because my purpose was to positively impact as many Australians as possible to create significant wealth for them in their future. Because you can see Australia as a very prosperous country and well, you think. But realistically, when you come to the numbers, you find out people are retiring independently wealthy is less than 2% of the Australian population.
Wow.
And for me, that became my driving factor. Okay. And that's what got me into property. I've been doing this for about 13 years and I've helped many Australians. But that model of buying and holding, as Karl mentioned or alluded to earlier, yourself, Adam, it stopped working. And so I had to also stop from an ethical point of view. From a moral point of view.
This is important.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's when I said, okay, if I need to either look for the next investment vehicle or it'll come across my desk. And Bali came across my desk.
Yeah.
Okay. long story with Bali. I had my honeymoon here, and it was such almost a 360 full circle, if you will, 14 years ago. And now I get to be part of something quite special and quite unique here. And not only that, showing Australians that you can tap into this gold mine, if you will.
Yeah. So I want to sort of use that. We've all been to Bali before we actually came here today, obviously, and also before we were at GeoNet. I've been coming here for the last 30 years. I'm actually living here now, as you guys know, 11 years already now. So I've seen a big change, but I wasn't this, I did have my residential, real estate license over in Australia, but I was more in marketing and more in lead generation and also into events and wealth creation type seminars and creating that for developers and for those people who were doing the same model as you had been doing for so long. You've been doing. But now you're saying that it's broken, right? You've come from that background. Background. We're addressing something by just being here today.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want to sort of go into that because essentially the strategy has to be right.
Yeah.
Okay. The strategy has been wealth creation and how do you buy, hold, multiply, save for retirement. But here we are sitting in Bali.
Yeah.
I want to reframe this, right? So we're now here grabbing an opportunity that has impressed you guys. And your passion and also your acumen and your expertise has brought you into this fold. And that gives me great pleasure because having you guys here brings better client confidence as well. And so let's just reframe. What was the light bulb moment when you came to hear about what we're doing? Let's start with you.
I mean, it's when that penny drops, it's blindly obvious, right? There's a saying called cognitive dissonance where there's some denial might come in where you're so used to a certain model and then you see something else and you think, oh, I don't know about this. I don't know about that. You compare the pair and that's where, Karl was talking about numbers before. When you actually compare the pair, Australian property to the opportunity in fractional investment within the 5-star luxury hotel asset class, it is light and day. There's not one area, Mark, where Australian property appears more attractive outside of capital growth, which I'll touch on shortly as well. Because for so long in Australia, we had this thing called the Aussie dream. You have your 4x2 house.
Absolutely. And Australians have long had that dream of, they've had a love affair with buying property, right? And there's the old saying, which you just alluded to, you don't know what you don't know, right? And I speak for all of us here. Once you do know, and we've all been immersed in the Australian property market for so long.
Yeah, that's what we've taught.
Yeah, that's what it's in your veins, right? You've been helping people.
Absolutely.
Once you know, you have a moral and ethical obligation to share it with people because there's truth in the numbers, right? There's truth in numbers. But the biggest challenge that we have is helping people understand the numbers because there is a fear, right? Because like I said, people already know what they know. They know the Australian property market. And if I think back years ago, people bought their first investment property in their backyard in the adjoining suburb because they were comfortable going and mowing the lawn and driving past every day. Yep, that's my investment property. Was it the best property investment for them? Unlikely. Sometimes yes, but not always, right? And then there was people that came about and they started educating people on, well, hang on a second, there's all these other drivers that make a property perform, right? Things like population growth, jobs, infrastructure, all the things that make a property grow here in Australia. And people started learning about this, right? And it makes sense. And it did make sense. So they then got the courage, and the courage is backed off information,
right?
And so once they've got the knowledge, they've got the information, they get the courage to go, right, well, hang on a second. I hear there's great things going on in Brisbane and the Gold Coast. This is for my Sydney siders, right? So all of a sudden they start buying property there.
And that was foreign, right?
And that was foreign to them. And it started working.
Right? Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Cross state borders
was foreign.
Became the new frontier.
Even suburb to suburb was foreign.
Yeah, true.
So can you imagine foreign from suburb to then state to state to now
Yeah.
country to country.
Yeah.
And as I was alluding to before with that Aussie dream, that dream was low entry costs.
True.
You could have one family member not working, one earning a relatively okay income, 4x2, 700 squares swimming pool. Now we have 2 degree qualified working individuals, $1 million median house price Australia-wide practically now.
Yeah, that's right.
That dream's gone.
Yeah.
Then we look at this opportunity here, which we're going to...
Your light bulb moments, guys.
Right. And it becomes fascinating because not only does this opportunity now broaden low entry cost, high yield, the eligibility criteria, you've got people that have a superannuation account or balance, which is practically everyone in Australia, right? Now providing an opportunity for them to be able to generate cash flow.
Yeah. Cash flow.
Yeah,
Cash flow is the new game.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
Income before property.
That's what caught my attention. That was my light bulb moment.
Yeah.
I think we've all been around the traps in the sense of fancy, glittery, sexy opportunities, but we look past that, right? And you go, like you said, is there truth in numbers? And does this make sense? And can we trust it so that the population and the market can trust it?
Yeah.
That for me was my light bulb moment.
Yeah.
And it's like you said, cash flow. For us, for a long time, we could afford to hold on. And like you said, it's now more expensive to hold on to Australian property. With this, it's a cash on cash play.
Yes.
And it's in a foreign country.
Yeah.
Where you can tap into.
Yeah.
For an Australian company. And that's what got me to said, hang on a second. I'm not looking at this as just a job opportunity. I'm looking at this as an opportunity for myself, for my wider community, for my extended community.
Yeah.
Well, if you've bought a house for 500K in Australia and now it's worth 1.3, you can get quite excited and quite happy, right? I've made X amount. Well,
On paper.
Well, but you haven't. Interest. B, you release some of that equity. You got to buy another property. The market hasn't stopped.
And your affordability or your ability to service it isn't necessarily, well, it'll price you out because you haven't got the money to live.
So it's not a cash flow play.
That's right. Always say that in June. Can't hit your bricks. But you can actually now cash in on your equity.
Correct, Mark.
And turn that into a cash flow, which does put food on the table, which does pay the bills and does provide for a great retirement.
We've all said it now. The Australian property market is broken, or I alluded to the model stopped working.
Yeah.
We elaborated just there and then, holding, the serviceability to buy more property.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a fear of debt anymore. I think that mindset change, which is great because you were able to go, okay, I can buy one, a second, and potentially a third. After that, you're stuck.
Yeah.
And this actually leads into my light bulb moment, right? It really, really does. What Joe was saying then about getting that first investment property, it's usually the hardest for most people, right?
Yeah.
Like it's an uncomfortable first step, right?
Yeah.
Once they get through there, they've made that step, they've bought the right property, hopefully in the right area, grows in value. They then use the equity and buy another one. And that's the game called property, right? Here's what happened to me. I was, and I won't go into who the company was, but I was a head strategist for arguably one of Australia's largest property companies, right? Finance and property companies. And the clients that were put in front of Karl, in front of me, were clients that had 4 properties, 5 properties, 7 properties.
Established.
This is the
rich on paper, right?
On paper. But their cash flow, they were burning, right? And a lot of people that are listening to this, they're going to go, there's going to be a lot of people that go, that's me, right? I've got a few properties. And if you have got a few properties, congratulations, you're within the minority because the majority
hold them.
Yeah. And this is the problem, right? So I'd be sitting down with people and we'd have a look at their portfolio of properties, their income, their cash flow, and most people were bleeding, right? And it was up to me to come up with a strategy because they're already bought into the model of buying properties. Yeah. But how do they get to the next one? How do they actually get the loan to get the next one? Yeah. Because on paper, they can't afford it. Right. And even if you go to one of the lenders in Australia and go, well, listen, I have found this property, a specialty property in Australia that has got high cash flow. They're not going to take the 100% of the gross rental income to service that debt. It's usually 80% of that, right? And if it's a specialty product, you'll be lucky if they'll lend that, and then they'll bring that loan to value ratio down to 70, 80% of that. So you end up using a lot more of your equity to get your specialty property, and there's just a lot of concerns. But the point of the matter is that I was sitting down talking to people and coming up with structures to help them get into the next property. But when I worked out what the net yields are for that property, and the net yields, let's be real here.
Are they even net?
Yeah, because there's spruikers out there going, oh, look at this property. It's 5% yield. It's 7% yield. Hang on.
Gross.
That's gross.
Yeah.
What have you got to take out of that?
What a difference.
Property management.
Yeah.
Right? Insurance. Things go wrong.
Maintenance.
Okay? The rates. Maintenance. And I've done these numbers hundreds of times, guys. And the average net yield for a property across the country, not just New South Wales, talking about Perth, Victoria, Queensland, it ranges, this is net, but 2.8% net yield. Now, that's not including the loan that you have to take out to acquire that property.
And all the stress above that. If I don't keep this job, if this winds up, if my tenants don't stay, if there is something else that gets in the way, that 2.8% is skin thin.
Well, this is why Australians become obsessed with negative gearing. What? You don't want money in your pocket? We've been indoctrinated for the tax return to enjoy that model. And our job is obviously changing the psychology of the Australian investor, because what if there was a way, Mark, Karl and Joe, that you could actually still cash out the equity that you've built, right? And actually use that strategically to pay your home loan off quicker and generate cash flow.
Well, this is the aha moment for me. This was mic drop, mind blast moment. Okay, hang on. I'm here trying to solve these problems for all of these people. Whether you've got one property trying to get into the next, or you've got 4 properties trying to get, it doesn't matter. The problem is still the same, right? How do we win this game called property? A very big part of it is cash flow and growth, right? If you don't have the cash flow, you can't acquire whole properties, right? So when I found out what the net yields were from the right asset class, and we're talking about luxury hotel asset class in Bali, it friggin' blew my mind, because that is the missing piece for a lot of people that already have properties in Australia. If they only knew how they could do that safely, legally, securely, and be able to bring this asset in that brings this such an amazing cash flow to their portfolio,
changes the game.
It changes the game. They can get into the next Australian property leveraging off the income of this alternate asset called luxury
hotels. And folks, to break it down even more, when we play Monopoly, right? Let's make the complex simple and the simple compelling. When we play Monopoly, do we want the red ones or do we want the green ones? What are the red ones?
That's the hotels, mate.
What asset classes? Proven to be extremely profitable.
Okay, so this is all obviously exactly how I had thought you guys would play this out, because I see it in you guys every day, right? So for us coming over to Bali and making something out of nothing, because this asset class was never open for John and Jenny. Myself, even yourself, unless you're coming to the table with a syndicate, with a family office, with institutional money. They're big investments. They're high class. 5-star luxury is no joke. You want to get into that game. It starts at 150 million, goes all the way to $2 billion for a hotel. No matter where you are on the earth. And in Bali, it's no different. There is a high level of hotels here. And in the 5-star luxury asset class, you have now access. Okay. So we've got access to it. Again, though, you guys are on the ground running. We do events. We do shopping centres. We also hold Zooms and we engage with people across essentially from online and into a real personal conversation and hopefully expand their horizons, give them some education, and then propose something for them that can then get them into this asset class. But there's a lot of noise online. Okay. So I want to address that. What are you hearing on the ground as far as when your clients or your prospects are coming in and they're interested in the ad? What else are they seeing? Give me some of the hard things that they are not conceptualizing properly.
Own a villa for 180,000 Australian dollars and 30% returns and 25% returns and it's ownership. That's what I've been.
Yeah.
That's the feedback I get.
How about you?
Yeah, much the same, because we're all in the same matrix of social media, right?
Yeah.
Like once you click on something, you're going to get more of the same in front of you, right?
Yeah.
So be careful what you click on. If you click on investing abroad, you're going to get Dubai, Bali, villas, all these different types of assets, and the noise can be deafening, right? So what I'm finding is that people are inquisitive because they recognize there's a problem and they're trying to find the solution.
Yes.
And people are smart. They realize that there is better opportunities abroad and they're trying to investigate that. But like I said, the noise is deafening. They don't know who to listen to, right?
That's right.
And their concern is they don't want to get ripped off.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Let's be real.
Yeah.
They want to make sure that they're working with somebody who's got their best interests at heart. They're operating ethically under the right legal framework, right? And Australia is regulated by ASIC. If you invest in something, right, it needs to be regulated. And if it's not, run. Okay. So,
that's what you.
Yeah, I'm hearing that. But what is winning people's confidence is when they get the information, so this is what's happening. We might not be the first person they're talking to.
In a lot of cases, we're not.
Yeah, and they're speaking to others, and they're not sure whether that's legit or not. But once they speak to us and they realize we are an Australian company run by Australians who understand the legal framework to do this properly, it changes their confidence because they're now educated on how, okay, great, I can put my head down on a pillow at night and know that I'm dealing with the right company that's looking after my best interests. That's what I'm hearing. It's sometimes the conversation is a little bit like, are you another guy in a foreign company speaking a foreign language who I can't understand and it's unregulated? And is this property going to actually be delivered? To, okay, breath of fresh air. I'm dealing with somebody that's Australian that understands the landscape in Australia and Bali. Yeah. And it's a game changer for most people. Once they've got the knowledge, and I said that right up front, right? People need the information to make an informed decision. Once they get it, it's a no-brainer for them.
And you touched on a word there, Karl. And Mark, I think if summarizing the beautiful words the lads have said, barriers to entry, right, come down to education, right? Are you a timeshare? Foreign investment is scary. Everyone's buying villas. Right? So they're talking to a lot of people.
And I even own something out there.
100%. So they know
bad stories. They
know my model's broken in Australia, but how do I know yours also isn't? And this is where building trust and credibility in ourselves, in the company, in the organization, and the product we deliver is incredibly important. And then when they understand not just the financials, but the fact that this is a much safer, more ethical, equitable, and most importantly, profitable investment.
And structured.
We don't just have the light bulb moment.
And this is quite interesting, right? Because Australians have been coming here for the last 40 odd years, right? And now even more so, the tourism numbers go up and up and up and up and up. Thing is, the supply in hotels doesn't go up at the same rate of the tourism growth. However, the villas, the apartments, the Airbnb model has been outstretching tourism growth. Yet, you're going to see on your algorithm, because you've tuned in here and somebody's listening, they're going to be sending you villas, they're going to be sending you apartments, they're going to be sending you the new exciting location. And we touch on this a lot. You buy here based on income, not based on owning a property. Because it's not a residential market.
No.
They're not coming here to really take advantage of a mass migration. This is a tourism-driven economy. So approach it with that and approach it with the skill and the operational intelligence of who you're trying to service. And GeoNet have definitely done that. We've steered it every single way. And we've steered it to make sure that there is structure in place, there's legality in place, but there's also all of the operators and partners that we've got on board. It's not just what we say, it's what they do globally, professionally, and what they bring to the table. And you can structure that investment for yourself. So the aha moment for a lot of our Australians coming and doing site visits is, wow, this lens of an investor is very, 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 but magnifies the areas that are, how would you say, worrying, and magnifies predominantly those that are actually set in stone and structurally built for great investment choice, right?
Yeah.
So again, your point, education, your points as well, to make sure that you're doing it with people who have the investor in mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah. This is the difference, right? And I try and make that certain as well with a lot of my clients. If you're just dealing with a developer who's trying to flog property, you're going to end up with a very vague bit of due diligence, because their due diligence isn't favored for the investor. It's favored for them.
Yeah.
They can show you how much profit they're going to make. But everything else is a total fantasy. And it's not built on years and years of established data. Right. So I think that's pretty important. When it comes to you guys having been here now, and I know you've been here before, but now you've got not only that investor lens on, but you've also got that lens of the background of your expertise. What are some of the major factors that have come into your peripherals that you take back with you when you're presenting to our clients, when you're presenting to prospects? What do you think that what's going to be more important for them to hear now that you're here? What's going to come out?
That's a question. Yeah, it's a great question. And here's the thing. Doesn't matter what.
I say that because you've got reputational confidence out there, right?
Yeah, that's right.
You don't want to damage that.
Yeah.
So you're still here. What are you taking back that gives you even more dominant guidance for them?
And you hit the nail on the head there about having a reputation, right? Because once you lose that, you got nothing, right? So we have that, and I mentioned an obligation ethically and morally to be able to present the facts to people that's going to help them make a decision to move forward. And I always frame this up when I'm talking to any investor, doesn't matter age or wherever they're from. Every investment has an element of risk. It doesn't matter what it is.
Of course.
Whether it's Australian property, whether it's gold, whether it's shares, whether it's emus, there's an element of risk in an investment, right? So what do you do as an investor to minimize things going wrong? You need to put certain safety nets in place, right? If you're going to buy a property in Australia, there needs to be certain safety nets that you put in place, like insurance and location and what's driving the interest and the growth for that particular property. Is it going to have a tenant and all these sort of things, right? But when you're looking at the luxury hotel asset class, there is a way to minimize risk, and we call it partnerships. Okay. And when you look at who those global powerhouses are that are partnered with a particular development, that is what minimizes risk, right? Because if you know that the marketing part of the development is ticked off and you've got people coming there to stay, right? If you know that the project's going to be built by a global brand and managed by a global brand, well, that is a risk mitigator, right? There's all these certain things. And once we start sharing with people who the partners are and what risks they mitigate, it's like an aha moment. Yeah. And I feel that's probably one of the bigger takeaways, and confidence builders. Yes. That once people realize where the income's coming from. Yeah. And are we going to touch on that?
Yeah,
conversation.
Sure.
Yeah. So once they realize, okay, well, let's talk about Australian property. Your income from that is going to be the rental income after all expenses, right? And I mentioned, 2% is what your net yield before the mortgage. Yeah. Well, once they realize what the net yields are from this hotel asset class, and there's 6 income streams? Yeah. Right? That's an education piece in itself.
Income streams.
Yeah.
Very important that we sort of, let's delve a little bit more into it, because when it comes, you were just saying, you've got your rental income with your villa or your apartment or whatever else that you're considering buying out here. You have one door. Yeah. And it's a nightly transaction, hopefully, because a lot of them are becoming monthlies. A lot of them are becoming 3 monthlies, 6 monthlies, even yearly rentals. Are they spending any time there paying for anything that keeps coming into your pocket? No. Right.
So little services, maybe that they would add.
Maybe.
Very little.
Maybe, right. So restaurants, bars, beach clubs, wellness, gym, kids clubs, tours, activities, salon treatments, facilities that are always built around profit streams that we share with you. So this was the entire crux of how do you build something that's just absolutely an investment driven, an income driver. Yeah. How many income drivers can we throw at our investors? You've seen what happens in beach clubs. Yeah. You've seen what happens in top hotels and resorts. Now we've got that hybrid. That's exciting for me. Yeah. That's exciting for me because all of the data proves globally, but also here in Bali, but all of the data proves that you cannot beat 6 income streams with global brands driving it. Iconic location, iconic designs, right? These are the things that I think sometimes overwhelm our clients because they're going, this is too good to be true.
They haven't seen it before, right? They haven't seen it before.
It's rarely been done.
Yeah. And some people just get it.
Yes. That's true.
Some people just get it because they understand how businesses work, right?
Yeah.
If you're owning a restaurant, there's income from food, coffee, right? Businesses have different streams of income as a luxury hotel and resort has multiple streams of income. Yeah. And if people can just for a moment put on their investment cap and go, okay, well, let's look at this as a business and understand the model of earning revenue. And hang on a second. I'm actually investing in a business here and I'm getting access to all these income streams. Yeah. Once people understand that, it's an aha moment for them.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah. That's right. Very, very special. And all of these particular income drivers or elements of your income or of your investment are driven by world-class operators.
Yeah.
It's not like we're just going to open a restaurant and see how it goes.
No, not at all.
No.
Yeah.
So we had a very interesting meeting with a man called Mark Schicker yesterday. Give me some of the drop moments that you were just like, holy hell, this gets better and better and better and better. Now, Mark Schicker is managing all of the partners that are coming into this particular property called the L and also the Wilder. But I gained a lot of joy watching you guys go and breathe that in and go, there was some elements there that were dynamite, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh. World-class operators is what comes to mind, right? Who's going to be operating the restaurants? Yes. Okay. Is this your local level or is this world-class level that's going to encourage people because here's the thing, it's not just Australians that love Bali. The world loves Bali. And when people come to a holiday destination like Bali, they're coming here for an experience where they can go to a world-class restaurant. They can stay in a beach club. They can stay in a hotel that is luxury. Yeah. And they can have their kids there and just be immersed in the whole experience. And when Mark Schicker was explaining who those hotel, the restaurant operators were, I was like, hang on, I haven't been to that restaurant. Where's that? You know, because that sounds pretty flash, right? But once that was sort of unpacked, I was like, well, definitely that's somewhere I'd love to go, right? You know, what we're talking about, so many hats and all that sort of thing, Explain to me how that works because I'm still a little bit disillusioned because I don't think I've been to a hatted restaurant before. Oh, right? Yeah, Michelin hats,
Yeah, so the Locavore, we were actually talking about Locavore. That's actually that's a release right there. That's the first time we've said it on camera, but Locavore are coming in, right? Interesting. Okay. There will be some operators that are being vetted for their interest in partnering with us and coming on board, but also joining your investment, our investment. What happens is you've got somebody who says, let's go to the beach club. Fantastic. let's try this restaurant. And they're posting about it all day, every day. They're posting about their stay. They're posting about their fitness, their wellness. We want to be known for world class at every level because the partners that we bring accumulatively spread and share and it gets viral and viral and viral and viral. And you want to hit all of those points. You want to hit health. You want to hit happiness in your accommodation choice. You want to make sure that your belly is taken care of, but you also want to attract those people who don't matter. You want to, what we're trying to do is we're hitting those audience members and those tourists that are here for experiential.
The ultimate experience.
Not budget reasons. Again, you can invest in accommodation, you can invest in 3-star hotels, et cetera, the yields are clearly lower. Okay. But if you've got an income generating investment that has multi levels of world class reasons to go there, you're going to spend. And we see this. This is, our friend Steve-O. This is a Dubai standard offering.
That was
every
his
level.
words.
I love it.
Is that right?
I'm going to take it back a little bit.
Yeah, please.
Mark Schicker's transparency in the company as a whole.
Yeah.
That was the key for me.
Yeah, you were involved in that conversation.
Oh, absolutely. But also for our clients and just to know, like, you know, when people look at Bali or, you know, an investment opportunity overseas, anywhere around the world, like, is this real? Is it going to come off the ground? You know, is there dodgy things happening? Yada, yada, yada. And just to see the confidence, number one. In every aspect of what goes into building a 5-star high-end luxury resort and to be able to, what's the right word? To explain it and communicate it to that level. I was like, that's what I'm taking back to my clientele.
That was that's what got me. And I'm glad you guys got to see that. I'm glad they actually positioned that into your itinerary, right? Because Mark Schicker and what he conveyed to you.
His experience is
next level.
It's not one hotel, it's hotels.
And the biggest group, like the Intercontinental Hotels Group, he was the head of their pipeline.
Wow.
So he's done this with the entire team. We touched on this in another podcast. They've gotten over 100 hotels out of the ground.
There you go.
From soil to concept to opening to established world-class.
And that's Southeast Asia, Bali included, Australia. Like he's
done it all.
We talk about wealth creation. We talk about ROI. We're talking about helping our clients achieve their goals, right? Brilliant. But what happens behind the scenes?
Exactly.
Right? And Mark Schicker was able to beautifully articulate, not in a scary way, but in an educational way and a factual way of just how much is involved in getting this thing off the ground, right? And to be able to demonstrate more trust and credibility that we're not only working with the best, but we're adhering to international standards, even though we're in Bali. Is fascinating watching this thing go from zero to hero and come together. So not only for us internally as staff members, but for our clients and prospects that have already invested to be like, this is how my money's working. I'm a part of this model.
That transparency was amazing, right? For me, just understanding that not only for us, but for our investors, that they have a bird's eye view into how the project is progressing at every single stage. Sure, we understand at a granular level, but some clients want to know that too.
The interesting thing for me was that you brought the angst and the questioning and obviously the enthusiasm and also the care that your clients expect from us into that meeting.
Well, we fight for our clients, right? Like our clients are, you know, everything to us, right? So when I'm talking to somebody I'm meeting for the first time or a client that's bought 3 or 4 properties for me over the years, the same level of care goes into all of them. And I want to know that if I'm helping a client, that they're getting what I'm telling them.
And answered with confidence. Right?
Absolutely.
And it's not like we're going into battle to get these questions. We're all a team here. But to be able to have that experience and the to and fro so that when we go back to our clients, we say, this is exactly what's happening. This is what's happening right now.
Joe, here's the thing, investors, they don't want maybes. They want certainty. And sure, look, there's no certainty in life, right? But we can at least give these people a clear roadmap on exactly how things are going to play out.
Yeah.
And how it is playing out.
Yeah.
Because
Absolutely. You got it.
sorry, I want to touch on this point again about the Bali and, you know, do they even meet certain criteria or standards or is it just all right, go build.
Because investment is open-ended, right? We're talking about a 50-year horizon and then further, right? So
I would almost say it's highly regulated as anywhere all over the world.
from a building perspective.
From a building perspective, from preparing, from getting all your permits in place. For me, that was like, okay, we're doing it, like you said, the right way, with the right people, with the right structures, and that is what you want to go back to your people, your investors, your communities and say, you have to have a look at this because...
But again, that level of compliance doesn't apply to every property on this island.
Oh, yeah. And I was just thinking the same thing, right?
The compliance that we are jumping through is not just government compliance, it's our own compliance and it's brand compliance. So brand compliance means everything, right? Elle don't put their name on something that's flimsy or et cetera, et cetera. It's got to be spectacular. So you can't apply this conversation to the 12 villas down the road, to the 35 that are going up, or the 175 apartments that are being built next to whatever it is out in the sticks. So keep going.
No, that was just my point that I wanted to share, that within our team, the level of due diligence, the level of regulation, the level of boxes that are ticked to get this through is second to none.
Yeah, and Joe, I'm glad that you landed on that because this is a concern for people out there because they're on social media. Remember the noise I spoke about?
Exactly.
Well, they're seeing other projects that are getting stopped in their tracks, even a couple of years down the track because they haven't gone through the right regulatory steps to actually get the product approved. And they're concerned, right? Because that's what they're hearing. This is part of the noise. And once they realize that we are doing things the correct, logical, ethical, legal way, it gives them the confidence, right? But we still got to overcome the noise because people that are listening to this, they may have already started researching property in Bali and they're seeing all these bad news stories and they're real.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, the clear difference that I know because I've been part of the architecture of this company is that we haven't gone after selling property here. Yeah. We've gone after making sure that there is an income-based decision built on logic, built on, for this project, there's been over 18 months of data collected and consultations, and we can go into that, and you guys know how much we do here. We try and make that transparent, but you choose an income over a property here. So get your property ownership mindset out. You're trying to create income. We're trying to create income for you. And so we've come up with this incredible opportunity, which normally doesn't get exposed to most people. In fact, there are some bigger players that are happily exposed to it. Yeah. The wealth of the world and family offices, institutional money, it's always in their portfolio, the hospitality asset class. But the hybrid is even more interesting. First time it's ever been available. So I want to thank you guys. Obviously, everybody, you hear the passion in the room. The passion is real. The expertise is real. The care is real. The product is real. Reach out to us over the phone, on social media, however you want to get in touch with us. Let's have a conversation. Come to some of our events. These are the boys that host it for you. And obviously, when you're in Bali, drop into the office, let us know. We'd love to take you and show you exactly what we've built here. How many of you, or how much have you enjoyed being amongst the entire team up here?
Invaluable.
Yeah.
Invaluable.
Yeah. It's been special having you guys here. And of course, we'll have it again. Stay tuned. We're going to do another podcast straight after this while I've got them. And that should be interesting as well. So thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining us. These boys are all available. We really love what we do here. You can see that we're on fire right now. 2026. Let's go, right?
Let's do it.
So join us for more of these podcasts. Like, comment and subscribe. You got
boom.
But everybody, thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, guys.